Hi guys, welcome back to Hairdryer Treatment. So this will be my last video of 2018. I know it's emotional, but I thought I'd end the year on a high. I've just noticed we've got 4.5k subs. Absolutely blown away by the support I've been getting from you guys. And I thought it was only right that I'd do a bit of a video to end this year on a high. So it's been a great year for me in terms of my channel, in terms of how it's going. Everything is on the up and I'm really thrilled with all your support. And obviously, in terms of Man United, it's been a fantastic year as well. But today's video, it is football themed. I'm going to basically talk about what I feel have been the biggest surprises of 2018 in terms of the footballing world. Thank you for the congrats on the 4.5k subs. DT's getting out of your pocket. I'll talk about DT and that incident a bit later on because that, funnily enough, was a key thing that happened in 2018. But yeah, I thought I'd get stuck in with what I think have been really the biggest highlights in terms of football in the world this year. So firstly, I've got to touch on Liverpool. I know we don't like to, but you know what? You've got to say they've surprised me definitely this season with how consistent they've been. We all knew signing Van Dijk was kind of what they'd lacked. They needed as a new centre-back. They needed to strengthen defensively because that was always where they were vulnerable. I think he was an absolutely fantastic signing, and yeah, Liverpool have been one of the biggest surprises for me this year. I think how consistent they've been. They look absolutely fantastic. So Liverpool up there as a shock for this season, definitely so far. Can they maintain in the second half? We shall see. I've got a horrible feeling that they will win the league this year, as of many Man United games. But the match on Thursday, obviously, is absolutely huge as well. Happy New Year to all you guys as well. Obviously, I wish you all the best and all the happiness for 2019. Happy New Year, finally playing some attacking football. I agree. We'll be uploading This Is Football 2018-19. Would really appreciate if you come and give it a watch. Drop a comment, Roberto, and give me a link to your channel. And I would love to come and support, of course. Biggest surprise was United stand beating AFTV. Why was that a surprise, George? We knew it was going to happen. It's not a surprise. We knew we were going to beat them. But secondly, so I've said Liverpool are one of the biggest surprises for me. I'm not going to do it in any particular order, but I am going to talk about the biggest surprises this season. And you all know from Wolverhampton, you know my dad is a massive, massive Wolves fan. And I'm going to have to say that Wolves in the Premier League, how they've come up from the league below, how they're performing this season, how they've shocked the bigger teams as well. There seems to be a real test for the bigger teams. And they're picking up points that I did not expect them to pick up. I thought Wolves would be decent this year because obviously they spent a lot of money. I like Nuno as a manager. They've got a decent squad. But I never, ever expected them to be up as high as they are. I'm currently 7th in the league, I believe. Not far off United. I don't think they'll catch us. But if they can finish in the top half, well, what a fantastic season that has been. So I think Wolves, their start to the season, their 2018 has been fantastic. And I agree. Lots of people saying they've got a good manager. Nuno definitely gets the players playing. I think they've got the likes of Neves, Moutinho, and one shining light for me in particular has got to be Conor Cody because I think he has performed absolutely fantastic. Definitely a leader from the back. I tweeted about him a few months ago saying Conor Cody, I wouldn't mind him at the back. I know he's a Scouser, but moving him as a centre-half I think was one of the best decisions that Nuno has made because his passing range is fantastic as well. And I just think he seems like a really good character to have. So I think one of the second biggest surprises has to be Wolverhampton Wanderers and how they're performing in the Premier League this season. Fulham game was funny with the pen. Yes, I agree. But talking of Fulham, actually, surely that's got to be one of the other surprises. Ranieri, obviously, he won the league with Leicester. I was not expecting him to come back into the Premier League, to be honest with you. With any other club, after doing that, I thought that would be it. But he's back and he's in charge of Fulham, and that was a big surprise to me. I wasn't expecting that to happen at all. So I think Claudio Ranieri taking over at Fulham was definitely a big thing as well. Fantastic. I've got my first official super chat, I believe. So Mr. Exclusive has done it and met you last week and it was an absolute pleasure to meet you. Big Red, like myself. Ollie Ball is the future and with positivity, we could end the season on a high. Happy New Year to everyone. Sub now. Definitely. That's the next big shock. Jose Mourinho being sacked, which, yes, arguably wasn't a massive surprise because we all said we felt it coming. But we didn't really have complete faith that our board would make the decision. So I think Jose being sacked, yes, that was a shock. But the biggest shock for me was Ole Gunnar Solskjaer replacing him. Ollie Ball, if you like to call it, Ole. But him coming in, obviously, that really went under the radar. Nobody really expected that to happen. And what a great decision it's turning out to be at the minute. I know people are saying, oh, come on, we've not played any big teams at the moment. But as I tweeted out yesterday, you can only beat what's in front of you. And it's not the fact that we're beating those teams because we're united and we should beat those teams, but it's more the fact, like the manner in which we've done it, the attacking football that we've seen, players absolutely buzzing. Spurs will be our biggest test, and even Newcastle, to be honest with you, Newcastle away, at times can be a tricky place for us to go, and I think that'll be a bigger test as well, because they're obviously fighting to stay up as well. But that's another big shock this season. In 2018, a big shock is the fact that Solskjaer's taken over at United for me. Not so much Jose going, because I think that was always in the pipeline with the way that it was going at the club, but I think the fact that Solskjaer is in, that's the next one. Start the season being so bad, definitely a shock. The worst 30, exactly. We were absolutely atrocious, and that's why Jose going for me isn't a shock, because I think that was always going to happen with the way that we were playing. Everybody was seeming to be down at the club, but Solskjaer coming in, I wasn't expecting that at all. So massive shock there, and a good one as well. Definitely a good one. 2018 seems to be a long year, but am I right in saying one of the biggest shocks and one of the biggest surprises, I was there for the United stand in the fan cams as well, was the comeback against City, where we came back at the Etihad, Pogba double, Smalling obviously scored as well, and I think that was another big shock this season. Big shock not this season, that was last season, but in 2018 for me that was a real big surprise. I remember being stood outside waiting for the fans to come out for the fan cams and absolutely buzzing, because at half time I was dreading it. I thought my first ever fan cam, because Flex I think was in Vegas or somewhere living it up. My first ever real fan cam, and I was asked to go to the City game away, and I must admit I was absolutely crapping myself, because I was thinking we're losing. Fans are going to be screwing, going to be going mad. They're not really want to talk to me, but we turned it around, and the atmosphere there was fantastic, and that was a really memorable moment for me, definitely. Another one, Alexis. I've already said that under Solskjaer, I'm expecting him to be a completely different player. I expect him to be like a new signing, but I didn't really. We said in January, didn't we, that we didn't really see us doing much business. Sanchez, definitely, we didn't really expect to happen, and that little clip now of him playing the piano, it still enters my mind. Like, that was a massive surprise, and I'm hoping it'll turn out to be a good one. At the minute, it hasn't. He hasn't really performed, but under Solskjaer, I'm expecting him to be completely different. So fingers crossed that works out. But again, that was a surprise for me. And if there's any ones that I haven't mentioned, obviously, please do drop a comment as well. Arsenal's unbeaten run, exactly. Emery coming in. There were many games. Lots of people didn't expect it, especially with the players they've got, because he hasn't strengthened so much. So I think he still needs to strengthen. That was proven the other day against Liverpool. But he's definitely got them playing a better brand of football. Defensively, a bit like United, they need to strengthen, because at times it was laughable, the defending. It has been in the last few games. If you remember the Arsenal United game at Old Trafford, the draw not long back as well. To be honest, the defence on both sides was absolutely atrocious at times. And you can only get so far progressing with your attacking football. A lot of United fans have already said it as well, that we need to strengthen at the back, because you're not keeping clean sheets. And Solskjaer said it himself, the foundation to any good team is strengthening at the back. Happy New Year to you all. Guys, if your comments are flying past, Mr. Exclusive has already done it, but please do drop me a super chat as well, and obviously I'll respond to your comments. Your support is really appreciated. PSG should qualify, but they would be very disappointed if they do not. I think the thing with PSG is, we've already said about defensively, we need to improve, and they've got such talent going forwards. Like, it's absolutely ridiculous. Like Neymar, Mbappe. Mbappe is going to be in Phil Jones's pocket for that game. I can just feel it now. But no, to be honest, I am worried about the game. But as long as I don't want us to part the bus like we have done in the past under Jose Mourinho. I think at the moment, with the squad that we've got, attack is the best form of defence, and I think that we need to just attack them, because they've got Thiago Silva at the back, but Liverpool proved it. If you attack PSG, they're not really the most strong at the back. So I think we can definitely create them some problems, especially with the moment that we're in at the moment, the mindset of the club. We shall see. Sophie, you are my shock of 2018. Why is that? Why am I your biggest shock this year? This was a defence that finished second last season. I agree. It's just, I don't know, like a lapsing, like Boye the other day, just lapsing concentration. I see what Solskjaer said. He kind of defended him. He said he's trying to win the ball back. They're trying to win it back at speed, and obviously he's gone over the top, which Boye often does. He gets too rash, he gets too excited as such, and yeah, it resulted in a red card. And I said it yesterday, I think he deserved that red card as well. I don't think that was the wrong decision from the ref. He got lucky with a kick into the chest of the player just before, to be honest with you. So yeah. This is off topic, but what films are you excited for next year? You know what? I feel like I've slacked a little bit. I don't really know. I haven't really seen many trailers of films that are coming out next year. I'm still dying to see Mary Poppins, and everyone thinks I'm sad for saying that, but I actually really want to. Mary Poppins was part of my childhood, and I really want to go into the new Mary Poppins film. I know it's out now, and hopefully I'll get a chance to see that at some point. Want to see you sitting Mark sharing the new year. See, on my video yesterday, some people said they would like to see me having my own slot on the United stand. I'm not against it, definitely not. Obviously, I'm pretty new to it. It would be a big risk for me because I've only just really started my own channel. I know I join in a lot with Mark, but for me to actually have my own show on the United stand, that would be a big honour, definitely, because of the amount of subscribers they've now got. And I love working on the channel. I love working with Mark, get on really well. So who knows what the future will hold, but if that's definitely something that you all want to see, then please be sure to let Mark know and let the United stand know, because I'm not against it at all. You know your footy, mucker. Cheers, mush. Like, I think that was the main thing about my channel. I wanted to prove that, yeah, I am a girl, and people often say that you don't really know what you're talking about. I do play football as well, but I just wanted to prove that, look, of course I know what I'm talking about. Where are you from? I'm from Wolverhampton. Lukaku as a super sub. He came in yesterday and he scored, and I was happy that he scored. A lot of people seem to think that I hate him because I said he's not good enough. I don't think he's good enough. I don't hate him though. I think, to be honest with you, he should be made to fight for his place against Rashford, because you'll get the best out of both forwards that way. You're brilliant. We think you should have more say, and we all love you. Thank you very much. I appreciate your support. New Year's Eve plans, to be honest, we're going to go and see some family, get some food. I don't celebrate New Year's massively, to be honest with you. So yeah, a bit boring really. Go and see some family and have some food, and then I will be up for midnight probably, but yeah. Manolas is a good shape for centre-back, definitely. Lukaku's first touch is a shock. I wouldn't say shock of the season though. Lots of people said for a while that his touch is bad, but it's definitely shocking. I agree with that. Arsenal's defence, Man United's defence look world class. I'm not sure about world class, to be honest with you. I think that's a far stretch. I think our defence is very poor as well. Arsenal were poor the other day, definitely at Anfield. But I think if you think back to the game between us and them at Old Trafford, defence on both sides was absolutely woeful, and obviously that's why it was a 2-2 in the end, because some of the defending was laughable at times. Any resolutions for 2019? To be honest, my resolution is probably to do more work on my channel. As you can see now, I've got the super chats hinting again. Now I've got the super chats up and running, which is fantastic. I can now start to monetize my videos, so hopefully this channel will be growing even more, because as you know, I do it from basically just off my phone. Don't have any fancy tech at the minute, so yes, we'll see how it improves, but I've got big ideas for the channel in 2019, and definitely want it to grow. It's grown so much over 2018, and it's just onwards and upwards really. So definitely resolution is to give you guys a lot more content in the new year. David says park or Sunday. This is a really good debate, to be honest with you, because I saw Flex and a few others tweeting this yesterday or the day before about Jason Park and obviously Son from Spurs. Now I think they're very different players. I think if you're going on success, then obviously you'd have to say Jason Park, because he won many trophies. He had a lot of success at United, and he was a big game player because Fergie would trust him in the big games because of his work ethic, and because because he worked hard. Basically, he didn't stop running. He worked for the team very hard, and I think he was a bit underrated technically in that sense. But I think if you're going on technical ability, then you'd have to say Son is by far above him, because he's absolutely fantastic on the ball. Some of the goals he scores are ridiculous. I'm a bit gutted we didn't sign him at United, to be honest, before Spurs, because I thought he's a fantastic, and I think on the ball he's definitely more gifted than Jason Park. in terms of being a team player, then you'd have to say Park. And in terms of overall success, you'd have to say Park. But on the ball and looking technically, if you're thinking of it from that angle, then you'd have to say Son is definitely better. So if DTS kids don't embarrass him in 2019 again, there's not going to be a rematch, I believe. There's no rematch with Arsenal Fan TV, but I do believe we have got some fixtures lined up against some other YouTube channels, so that should be interesting in 2019 as well. Is Goldbridge helping you with your channel? To be honest, Matthew, who's in the comments now, I appreciate his support. He's made my banner. He's made the icon for my channel, which is absolutely fantastic. But other than that, everything is pretty much done off my own back. So, no, I'm actually doing it all pretty independently. Memphis Depay or Isco, who would you prefer to come to United? Depay, because he loves United, and I think he could be really effective if we bring you back under the likes of Solskjaer in an attacking team. So, Happy New Year to you, Ian, as well. What's your saddest football moment? I think when we went out to Portugal, was it in the Euros? I was quite young, but I remember crying and kicking a fence, and Mum telling me to smile because I was so gutted. And I was in disgust a lot at Ronaldo as well. I remember probably that moment. But football, I like to associate mainly with positives. If you're thinking personal moments, for me, my saddest moment, probably getting a bad injury, to be honest with you. I had quite a bad knee injury and I've had a bad ankle injury as well. It put me out for a bit of a spell. And just being out and watching your team for so long, that's quite gutting. So I'd probably say getting injury is my saddest moment, really. Favourite football moment as a fan in 2018? Would it be bad if I said Liverpool not winning Champions League? Would that be really bad? That would be bad, wouldn't it? No, I'll probably say my happiest moment of 2018 would have to be probably the comeback against City, to be honest with you, where Pogba scored 2, and me being there and me given the responsibility of being on the fan cam. So yeah, that was the most elated I've felt for a while, other than obviously Solskjaer coming in there when watching United. So I'd have to say that. Favourite moment must be Jose getting sacked. Our right back not good enough, overloaded on the left. Quite a few people saying Liverpool losing. Jose being sacked. Look, I've already said, to be honest with you, I'm never happy to see a manager get sacked. Of course I'm not, because I think it's harsh and I don't want United to become a sacking club, and I've already said that. However, you've got to say that since Jose's gone, the atmosphere around the club has improved massively. I've already said it's not just the manager. There's obviously deeper problems, but the whole mindset of the club seems to be a lot more positive now. We are playing attacking football. The likes of Pogba's performing, so it's obvious that the manager was a massive part of that. He was the virus, as people keep saying. So, Guna asked how old I am. I'm 26. A lot of people asked me that yesterday, and they were saying I looked a lot younger than that, but 26. Anyway, in 2019, carry on with the great content. I will do my best, Roberto. What do you think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer needs to do to get the manager job permanently? I think if he gets us top 4, if we beat PSG in the Champions League, definitely that will go in his favour. But I just think, personally, I think he said his main job was to get the players playing with a smile on their faces again, which he's definitely doing at the minute. But I think if he can definitely get us into top 4, then why not give him the job? At the end of the day, he's done what he needed to do and more. So I think it'll be judged on that, really. There's no pressure really for Solskjaer at the minute, because he's under the impression that he just needs to get the players enjoying it, and he's doing that. But obviously results will improve if he does that. So I think if he gets us into top 4, why not? So I feel you're going to get a virtual studio like Goldbridge. Hopefully, eventually, yes. I need, obviously, at the minute, as I've said, I'm working on basics. I need a lot more funding and a lot more support to do that. I am setting up a Patreon as well. So if anyone would be willing to support, obviously, I really appreciate that. But for the moment, I'm just going to keep doing my normal content. I will be doing some more debate and dribble videos where I'm obviously outside and showing you a bit of my techers. But other than that, maybe, hopefully in future, I would like to definitely expand it even more. But it's not something that I can do myself. I'd have to get someone to help me out with that one. Me and technology aren't really the best, to be honest with you. Guna just said United are shite. To be honest, mate, you can't really say anything at the minute. We're probably on a par at the minute, so we can't really say anything. Just get Goldie to pay. He's rich. You're going to play FIFA? Gaz, I am going to play FIFA. 2019, there will be a career mode, me playing FIFA, so you can all have a laugh at me raging at FIFA. That is definitely in the pipeline. I've been looking in how to stream that, and that's definitely something that will be coming up. So keep your eyes peeled for that one. There will be me playing FIFA in some of my new videos in the new year. Will you do watch-alongs in future on the channel? See, it's a bit awkward really doing a watch-along because obviously you have watch-alongs on United Stand and a lot of people tune into that. I mean, I'll be willing to do watch-alongs, but as you know, I go to quite a lot of the games, so it might be a bit awkward for me to do that. But if possible in future, then I'd love to get involved or maybe even join on the United Stand watch-alongs. I have done that once before, so we shall see. Shout out to Red Bearded Red. He's my favourite. Andrew is a great guy. Met him at Old Trafford, and that was another highlight, meeting him in 2018 because he's such a lovely guy. Great charisma, top red, and I'd hope to see him again in the near future. Absolutely fantastic. Am I doing anything for New Year? No. To be honest with you, I'm just spending time with family, eating food. I'm pretty boring when it comes to New Year. Are you guys got any plans for New Year? Let me know in the comments if you are doing anything, if you're going out, or if you're doing anything in particular. Do you have any traditional celebrations for New Year? Everyone on the United Stands as a PS4. Matthew, you've got to change. You've got to switch to the dark side then, if that's the case. I play for Kidderminster Harriers. Someone just said, what's your team? What's your worst loss on FIFA? Can I be honest? If I'm getting absolutely battered, I'll just leave the game, so I can't even answer that one. Now, I don't know. I don't know what my worst loss actually is, to be honest. I haven't been beaten as badly on FIFA 19 though. That's for sure. I seem to be a bit better. I don't know. I think once you get used to it, it's not so bad. I'll definitely do a career mode on my streams because I think that'd be easier, and obviously you can get a bit of a series going. But I might do the odd online stream, which is definitely where the rage comes in when you're playing online, definitely. But it should be fun. What difficulty do you play on FIFA? It varies, really. It varies. It depends. If I'm doing a career, to be honest, I don't know what difficulty I would do. I've never really done a career, so I don't know what would be the suitable. Obviously, I'm not going to do it on amateur, but professional, semi-pro. What would be the given difficulty for me to do it on? What's acceptable? So if you need to change your logo, I need to get a logo designed. I've been asking some people to help me out with that. If anybody knows anybody in the comments who could help me out with a logo, but I definitely need a new logo. I know that. I'm also working on an animated intro for my videos as well. So yeah, again, things coming up for 2019. Darian, if you are a logo designer, please message me and let me know what kind of rates you're charging, stuff like that, or any ideas you have for my channel. Any help would really be appreciated. Who chats more, like Flex or Rants? That's a good question. To be honest with you, I'm just going to go on who talks more, and Rants definitely talks a lot more than Flex. But I didn't say that. What other sports do you like, says Neil? I don't mind rugby. I don't know all the rules of rugby. I don't think even the refs know all the rules of rugby, to be honest with you. But I don't mind rugby. It's not too bad. And I enjoy watching boxing as well. So I'd say rugby and boxing are probably the two sports that I would say. In terms of rugby, though, I like watching more internationals. I like watching England play, especially like the Six Nations and things like that. So, yeah. But football has always been definitely my main sport. Rance did score a screamer, and that is very true. I was going to talk about my highlight of 2018. I've spoken about all the shocks and stuff in the footballing world, but my highlight of 2018 has got to be United Stand beating Arsenal Fan TV. We travelled to London. Obviously, we had a team that was kind of thrown together. We said that there needed to be at least 3 channel regulars. We turned up, they had 1, and he was sub, and we all know who that 1 was. But fair play to him because he did turn up and he did play. And for me, that was the highlight because none of us really expected to win that game. None of us expected us to be as good as we actually were. And I said they didn't show this in when Blood Brothers went up. there's a lot of things that they cut out when they showed the video. It was very biased, definitely towards Arsenal Fan TV, but it's their channel, so fair enough, and I don't blame them for doing that. But I've got to say that I got asked, like, they spoke to me quite a few times on camera, and they said, like, how are you feeling about this? And I said beforehand I was nervous. But at the same time, I was a bit excited because I wanted to see how I would fare against like men players. Because obviously, you hear people say, "Is the women's game as good as the men's game?" And no doubt there'll still be people now who say, "Oh, the men, they didn't really go in hard on you, they didn't tackle because they were scared, or they took it easy on me." Basically, is what people say. But I can guarantee you now, and if you ask anybody, I know George was there if he's still tuning into my video, but it was definitely just like a normal game. I did get in. Nobody was backing out of challenges or anything like that, and it was a really enjoyable experience. And I think I was actually gutted that it did get abandoned when it did, because I was really enjoying it. I remember Flex turning around to me and Mark and saying that if you want to get subbed off because we had people waiting to come on, are you ready yet? And me and Mark constantly were saying, no, we're fine, and we were loving life in the middle. So my highlight is definitely us going and winning that game, because it was absolutely a fantastic experience. We all know what happened in the game because you've seen the Blood Brothers clips. A lot of people saying to me, was it a foul on me just before it got abandoned? To be honest with you, I said this to DT actually after the game. We shook hands and I said to him, like, look, to be honest, I don't know if it was a foul or not. He did kind of shoulder barge me, but from behind. But it could have gone either way. If it wasn't given, I'm not the one to moan anyway, but if it wasn't given, I probably want to salt. If it was given, then I think the other player couldn't complain. I think it was, I don't know, it was a bit clumsy from the player, but it wasn't exactly a malicious player. And I think, but the reaction obviously wasn't expected. But in terms of my highlights of the year, that driving down to London, having that experience, even having Mark in the car and having a good old chat on the way, it was just a really enjoyable experience. Having some drinks with Mad Marcus and George and some of our supporters as well after the game was really good. So yeah, that was my highlight of the year, definitely. Thoughts on the title race? I've already said I've got a horrible feeling. I think Liverpool are going to win it this year, and to be honest, I think they deserve it. If you're looking at when I signed Van Dijk, I was scared because I know that's a lot of people saying Van Dijk isn't the world's best defender and all that. I don't think he's the best in the world, but there's no denying how good of a signing he's been for Liverpool. They needed strength at the back, and he's definitely brought that. I know for a fact that I would like to see a leader and someone with a passion and a fire at the back like he has got at United. So, to be honest with you, I think Liverpool stand in good stead to win that. It's just whether they're going to bottle it against the littler teams like they have done in the past. City have just got to win all of their games now, and I think the game on Thursday is a massive game for City. I really do. So if you reckon I could give you a good game on FIFA, I'll play Legendary or World Class. Roberto, you will probably annihilate me, but maybe at some point we can make that happen. Goldbridge kicking DT. It all depends on Thursday's game. I agree with that. Paul City game is big. Hate the Scousers more than City. Look, out of the two, you've got to say, as United fans, of course, you want City to win it again. Ideal scenario is Spurs win it, but we've seen against Wolves the other day, they haven't got the bottle for it. So I'd have to say that I think Liverpool are going to do it this year, and it kills me to say that, but I can't see them not winning it now, to be honest with you. Video game of the year. To be honest, I only really play FIFA. I've seen bits of Red Dead. Looks amazing, I must admit, but personally, FIFA is really the main game that I play, so I would have to say FIFA, even though I don't think it's the best FIFA that there has been, though. People think passion, shouting on the pitch. No, it's not just the shouting on the pitch, it's the way that he makes his tackles. He played against a tricky player in Adama Traore the other week, and he even matched him for pace. I think his whole reading of the game, he's a threat from set pieces as well, the way he attacks the ball. I just think I would love someone like that at United. You would have complete faith and a complete trust having someone like Van Dijk at the back, and I think he was an amazing signing. I know he was a lot of money, but Liverpool are definitely reaping the benefits now, aren't they? Carl says new sub. Thank you so much for subbing. Who do you reckon's coming to United in the centre-back position? Now, I think Toby from Spurs may already be a done deal, to be honest with you. I think that's maybe why that they announced that they're adding a clause into his contract where it's 25 million release. So I think Toby may already be coming to United. Personally, I would love Koulibaly, but I just think Toby is the easy option, and I think that's who we're going to go for in January. His only mistake in 2018 was the penalty he gave away against City. and even that wasn't really a penalty. Yeah, he has been very consistent, definitely. I agree. You melt my heart. You support United, play FIFA, and you're a yam yam. Thanks, Jim. Appreciate that. Goldbridge versus DT, a boxing match. Who is better, Koulibaly or Van Dijk? I'd have to say Van Dijk because he's proven in the Premier League. If you're asking me who would be better for United or in general, I've seen more of Van Dijk, and I think he's faultless really in the way he's playing at the minute. But I think Koulibaly could really be world class, and I think he could definitely be the better player. But at the minute, I'd have to say Van Dijk. Favourite film of 2018? Ooh. Has anybody seen Bird Box? I watched that the other day. I must admit, I really enjoyed that with Sandra Bullock in. But my favourite film, I'd probably say Fantastic Beasts 2. I'm a massive nerd, if you all know me. Massive Harry Potter fan, and I really enjoyed watching Fantastic Beasts. So I'd probably say that. Aquaman, I haven't actually seen it, to be honest with you. But I've seen the trailer for it and stuff like that, but I've never actually seen it. Bird Box is Arsenal's defence, blindfolded. No, I'd definitely recommend giving Bird Box a watch. A lot of people are saying it's good. A lot of people are actually slating it off, but I actually thought it was really good. I really enjoyed it. It's been a while since I've watched a film that's actually pulled me in from the start, and definitely Bird Box was up there. I think the ending could have been a bit better, but it was really, really good. I've seen Aquaman and loved it. Maybe I should give Aquaman a watch then. It's not really something that I would typically go and watch, but maybe I will. How do I feel when people say I sound like Harry Kane? Well, my nickname, as Expressions gave me playing against Arsenal fan TV was Harriet Kane, so I'm going to take it as a compliment. At the end of the day, I can't change how I speak. That's just how I am, and you either like it or you don't. Don't watch my videos if you don't like it, is basically my advice, I would say. Watch Mission Impossible. I've seen Mission Impossible. Have I seen Infinity War? You know what? I actually haven't seen Infinity War. That's one film that I haven't seen, which I definitely should, and I will see it at some point. I've got Sky on. I know it's on there now, isn't it? So, actually, I forgot to say my favourite film actually of 2018. I'm gonna have to say is The Greatest Showman. I know I normally hate musicals, but The Greatest Showman is absolutely fantastic. So I'd actually put that above Fantastic Beasts. That one just popped into my head. So The Greatest Showman. If I literally I sing at least one of the songs every day. An amazing film. So definitely that's up there. Sophie surely like Harry Kane. DT hates her and she destroys Arsenal always. I like the comparison, definitely. See, I'm going to take it as a compliment. Who wins the league? Liverpool, sadly, I think. What's your playing style? So me personally, to be honest with you, look, if I play holding mid, I'd say I'm playing like Matic at the minute, where I get the ball, look forwards, try and dictate. People say I've got good vision, so threading the through balls. I have a lot of assists, so I'd probably say that. If I'm playing like left of a front three, which I have been doing quite a lot this season, I'm going to say a bit like Martial. I like nowhere near as quick, let me just add, but I like to cut in and get a shot away. And like I said, I do get a lot of assists, so... some people are saying I'm enjoying the comment. I'm ignoring the comments. I can promise you I'm not. If you drop me a super chat, I'll be able to see it. I'm doing my best to keep up. As you can see, there's a lot of comments coming through. Would you sign Maguire or Memphis? I think Maguire is a ship that sailed. I think he had a good World Cup, but I think this season he hasn't really been that good at Leicester, and I think he was just a bit of a phase, to be honest with you. It's always the same when England do well in the World Cup, like the press and the media, everyone jumps on the bandwagon. And for me, I would sign Memphis, as long as we are signing another centre-back, of course. Hugh Jackman started singing Enough For Me. Hugh Jackman is absolutely amazing in that film, I must say. He is fantastic. Van Dijk is the best player in the Premier League this season. He's definitely up there. To be honest, I don't know who I'd put instead of him, to be honest with you. How did you meet Mark and join the United Stand? To be honest with you, I just literally... I saw a lot of tweets from United Stand. I had Twitter, obviously, and I would tweet a lot about United. And then all of a sudden, United Stand started liking some of my tweets and stuff like that. And then Mark messaged me and invited me onto a Skype show, and that's how it all started. I went onto a Skype show. People seemed to like my opinions, and he asked me to feature more and more until eventually he gave me the slot on the Sunday night show, which is the one that I feature on with Flex or Rants, and obviously Mark. So So yeah, that's how it came about, really, mainly through them spotting my tweets and then asking me onto a Skype show, and it all went from there. So make sure you get involved in the Skype shows if you want to feature more in the United stand, because they can definitely pay off. Signing of the season: Shaqiri, Mahrez, or Torreira. I don't think Mahrez is one of the signings of the season, to be honest with you. I think you'd have to say Shaqiri. He's been fantastic at Liverpool, hasn't he? So I think you'd have to say Shaqiri's up there as one of the signings of the season. Torreira has been decent, but I think he got found out a bit against Liverpool. So I think he will be good. He's still very young as well, you have to say that. But I genuinely think Shaqiri has been a really good signing, quite cheap as well for Liverpool. And I was surprised really that he was at Stoke for so long. Who's your favourite flex or ransom? Mark, I'm not going to comment on that. Who do you think Solskjaer's target this? What do you think Solskjaer's target is this season? Well, he said it's just to get the players enjoying the football, playing with a smile on the face. I think in the back of his head he will be thinking, I'd like to get top 4, of course. But I do think that he hasn't really got much pressure on him at the minute. I think it's more about the performances. He wants to get the fans back connecting with the club. And I think that mainly is his target this season. I don't think he's got much pressure on him, which is fantastic. I think the more the season goes on towards the end, if top 4 becomes reachable, then that will become more of a realistic target. But from where he took over, I think it's more about getting a style of play, getting an identity, and getting the fans back on side. Centre back, you think is Tony? I agree. I think Tony will be the one that we sign. Who do I think will win the Champions League this season? Man United? No. That's a tough question, to be honest with you. I think you can never write off the big clubs like the Barca. PSG are yet still obviously to win one. They have definitely got the squad to do it, but have they got the attitude? I think that is the thing. Obviously, I would like to say that we're going to beat PSG, but you got to be realistic about it. Defensively, are we good enough to do that? I would like to say that we will be, but it's a tough one. I think Barcelona would be up there. City as well, you've got to say, are going to be up there, and I hate to say it, but that's a tough question. I think after the next round of results, we'll see, but I think you'd have to say if I'm going to choose 3 teams who I think may be up there to win it, I'd have to say Barcelona, PSG and Juve would be the 3 I'd probably put up there. Coutinho and Messi to win it for Barca. Maybe. Right, guys, I'm going to sign off because I'm going to go and get ready for my New Year's Eve evening with my family. So I hope you all have a fantastic evening. I would like to take this moment to wish you all a very happy New Year as well. Thank you for subscribing to my channel. Thank you for all your support. I really do appreciate it. Yeah, in terms of 2019, I'm hoping to give you a lot more content like this, but also I've already said I'm going to do some FIFA streams, definitely some more debate and dribble videos as well. So a lot more content for the new year for sure. If I've missed your comments, please do drop a comment and I'll respond to as many as I can. I don't ignore on purpose, but I've got a lot of people commenting and I do appreciate you all for tuning in as well. Roberto, I will be sure to check out your video as well that you mentioned earlier. But yeah, Happy New Year to you all. I wish you all very well. Thanks for tuning in. Take care, guys. Cheers.